Hello everyone and welcome to Agulhas Current Affairs, a marine science podcast set in Southern Africa with me as one of your hosts, Dr. Yanis Giston of Geekoscopy, alongside
Dr. Nelson Miranda of Argonaut Science. And today we are working on the good old-fashioned hierarchy, hey? You can't escape it.
You can't escape the hierarchy, especially when it comes to figuring out what are your favorite things that entertain you. And one of those things in the age of social media are memes.
And particularly if the memes tickle you in a very personal way.
Yeah. If only
you're saying about another episode?
Yeah, a very select group of people understand those memes. Like us with marine biology. So another episode we had, I think we didn't discuss we did discuss what you could do in the field of marine biology, although we did not kind of phrase it in a way that it was beneficial. So I think we're going to talk a little bit about that probably later after reviewing the memes, and also some of the things that are not so beneficial, just because it's funny to laugh at your disadvantages in life. But today there was a recent, I don't know how recent, but maybe last year, this recent kind of trend with memes where it started off as this Tumblr poster who had a dream that this particular meme of just a bunch of fish/turtle looking things would just go viral on Tumblr and the internet. It was what the benefits of being a marine biologist would be. And because the internet is weird sometimes, the meme actually went viral, and it started a whole bunch of more memes posting about what the potential benefits of being a marine biologist are. So those are the memes we're going to be looking at today. What are your thoughts on that, Nelson?
Yeah. It's a dream come true. Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, we're not Tumblr users. The only Tumblr I've heard of is the kind that you used to shake things in, But I'm looking forward to these memes and to describing them and to try to understand them and then to rank them, because we're going to be judgmental about these memes because we're marine biologists, damn it.
Yeah. We have to be professional about it, at least semi-professional.
Yeah,
so we're going to first start
very semi-professional
with the origin one, which is just a bunch of very almost dream-like looking fish that from afar look like turtles. And even though I'll give it some credit for being the first one that started it, because it's surprising that this would be the first one that started it. So I think it deserves an A. I wouldn't necessarily put it in S tier. What do you think, Nelson?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this. I'm intrigued by who was the artist? Because this is amazing. It looks like it's definitely fantasy. It looks like they might not be in the ocean. In fact, they look like the kind of creatures that you might find in outer space as well. And when you look at it, they defy all taxonomic norms. We cannot place them in the tree of life whatsoever.
No.
We'll just call it magic, and because it was the original dream, the manifestation of original dream, it's intriguing. I would say it's A or even S, class. It might even transcend,
Transcend. Well, I don't know. I think A class is fine.
All right.
It is a pretty good picture, I give it that. So if you're listening on the podcast, we're trying our best to narratively describe. But if you want, obviously, the best version of this, you can go watch it on YouTube, and we'll have video feed up of us ranking it on
the more I look at it, it's... the more I look at it, the more I'm looking at the formations. There's a V formation, which suggests that these are flying creatures, not swimming creatures. It's definitely evoking emotions.
For sure. Definitely,
it's interesting art.
the longer you look at it, the more fantastical it gets, even from a marine biology standpoint. You know what? You convinced me, Nelson. Since this was the first, it's a good piece of art. I'm gonna put it in S tier. I'm gonna say it. You don't get much more classic than the first one. So after that first one was posted, then there was this cascade of other people posting various, usually underwater pictures of various activities you could do as a potentially the benefits of being a marine biologist. I think the first big one that went viral were this couple of dudes that pitched a tent underwater along with a table and what I'm supposed is a broken laptop, because I don't think your laptop can survive that amount of water. I don't think the amount of rice on this earth is enough to fix this laptop if it was underwater in that fashion.
Yeah.
But in terms of how funny it is, just two dudes just like chilling underwater, I think it's an A or an S. I'm going to leave you to decide on that one, Nelson. What do you think?
Yeah, I think these guys are definitely professional. All marine biologists are free divers, because all human beings are free divers too. So I think they really did a good job here. I like the setup. They look relaxed. I like the color of the tent. They're thinking safety first. I can tell. That laptop, I mean, that's definitely salt water. That laptop will not be functioning. It's a damn shame. I don't want to talk too much about the laptop, but it looks like they're in a tropical, high visibility area. I see some fish in the background. They look to be some reef fish. They're well dressed. I find no fault with this, but I would say this. Yeah, this. To set this up. Just think about the logistics. And is that a selfie? Is he holding up? Is that? Yeah, I really like it. I would say an A. I'll give it an A.
All right. I think he's a pretty good spot.
It's solid.
It's a solid spot. Obviously, once that was posted, and I think there was a bunch of people then trying to do funny things in aquariums mostly, so it's easier to shoot. I don't know if this was particularly that picture, but there is this picture of just a bunch of people, I think it's snorkeling, maybe scuba gear, just having like a little meal. And what I think is different here is that there's a turtle chilling there with them at the table, which is pretty good. And there were other pictures also, and like video and like GIFs. There was one of this dude like dancing with a shark, which is, I don't know how ethical that is. There were other ones of various scenes underwater, but I think this one encapsulates it. I don't know how original this is, so like maybe I did give it an A or a B. I mean, it took some effort. Maybe it might deserve an A. What do you think, Nelson?
Yeah, I think an A.
Yeah, it would have taken some work to get this picture.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a little bit of I don't know what kind of prop. I mean, there's definitely props in this picture. I don't know if that turtle is actually there. This might be a case for the VFX people to decide. But I like that, this is true. You can eat underwater. You can have a full meal in the water. You can fall asleep. That guy actually, is he cutting his meal, or is he? Looks like he might be cutting a steak there, but he could also just be falling asleep, and that's very possible to do.
Yeah, for sure.
With scuba gear. There's someone trying to use a sauce. I don't know how wise that is. Also liquids. I see some, some mugs for cappuccino or coffee. Don't try that, in a mug, in an open top mug. Definitely close the mug if you're gonna take it underwater. You need a high density liquid, or else it will dissipate very quickly, and you won't enjoy it.
Definitely.
And I like that there's no salt on the table, because everything that you eat, everything that you eat there is definitely going to be salted.
It's going to be pre-marinated, yeah, for sure.
And then what I like about this picture is there's a looming skeleton in the background. So, there's a lot of action going on here. Yeah. And that I like because it gives you an idea, that marine biology, there's different careers, in marine biology. And, so it really, there's a big story happening here. There's a big story.
Definitely. And speaking of different careers for marine biologists, I don't know if we brought this up in our episode about like potential opportunities, but one of them could just be a consultant for entertainment. So you can like consult for a movie or a series or a video game so that the directors and producers can have somewhat accurate information for plotting out whatever they want to do. And one very iconic underwater type of video game was the Bioshock.
Bioshock. You're talking about Bioshock.
Yeah. Yes,
I thought you were going to talk about that other game that the virtual marine biologist, and then your job is to be a scuba diver. What is it called?
Which
Deep
is
something.
Pretty good. Yeah, Deep Blue, I think.
Deep Blue, right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Bioshock, and it might not be something that everyone knows what it is. I've never played Bioshock. Have you ever played this game?
Oh yeah, I've played all the Bioshock games. The first one was set underwater, and you were just a dude, and it's like a dystopian dystopian game about the city of people that wanted to live underwater, and they made this entire city there, and obviously things like went to hell. But I think like why went to hell was more political. But it made for some very interesting like gameplay and story setting and with an underwater theme. And the second one, you can play as one of these guys who are in like an old-timey like diving suit, which is what this picture is about. This guy is like has like an old-timey suit, but I think also like a drill for a hand.
Yeah, which is not standard equipment. I mean, he has a hard hat on, which is something that you, as a class 4 commercial diver, if you work as a marine biologist, eventually you're going to have a commercial diving qualification. So that's that's quite a hectic, hard hat that he has on, and it's definitely got some steampunk vibes to it, So it's
for sure, yeah.
There's some additional features to this which are not necessarily actually necessarily functional. I'm looking at it, but he looks to be a very large and imposing figure. Definitely not something that you want to find in the dark alley or just looming over at you all of a sudden.
No.
I like the placement of some of the. What's that on his arm? He's got something that looks like a compass or a watch. You'd know what that is, perhaps.
I'm not sure. I don't remember much.
All right, the placement of that
for information.
A gauge, yeah, it's a gauge of some sort, and the placement of it makes sense because you don't. If you wear a watch like you normally wear a watch, that would be very uncomfortable for you to look at. But over there, you can really check whatever it is that gauge indicates. Probably some sort of level of chemical X that will change you into a mutant. And then like we don't really notice it very nicely, but there's at the bottom a tiny little cute little girl that is very, very creepy.
Oh yeah. The little sisters, which are like genetically modified kind of girls that like are the source of whatever like magical science, magical tech that they're using. And part of the game is like going around and like either saving them or like consuming the tech magic. So like the ethical questions of that comes up in the game. So
you can see
those are the little sisters and the dude in the suit. Those are called big daddies.
Okay.
So it's a big daddy and a little sister. But what do you rank this particular one? Because
oh gosh,
I only put it there for like the general idea of like water themed entertainment.
Yeah.
But if you don't know Bioshock, it's difficult, this one, to understand.
Yeah, I think it's a C rank. If you do, it's high up. But if you don't, then I would say it's a C rank because I mean, a lot of things have to go wrong for you as a marine biologist to have benefits here, unless it is, unless we're talking about the development of the game itself, then obviously marine biologists as consultants, that makes sense. But the reality of what the picture is evoking in me, like there's a lot of, and I mean, child safety, for goodness sake. I don't know who this little sister is, but please step away from the prosthetic drill.
Please call child services right now.
I mean, come on.
I agree, C rank. The idea of it is cool, but that particular meme, I think the second one, I think we'll go for the Pirates of the Caribbean one, because that is one where maybe they should have got more consultants on, because this particular thing where you like, there's a couple of dudes, I think it was Jack and Will in the movies, they just turned a boat over and they used that to breathe air as they were walking across
they made it into a submarine, basically. The idea of a submarine. And you actually see this has some merit because in the, I think the earliest accounts of people trying to, designs of submarines, there was something like this, where you would have basically something to capture a bubble. And then a number of people would then, sort of walk it around.
In the fourth Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, like one of the gameplay elements was that there was this like bell that they used to like throw like an anchor off the side, and you could use that as like an air supply, like a diving bell. So even though the dude was free diving, he could like use that as a supply deep down. Which I also think is an old-timey thing that we now we have scuba gear, which is what you use on the regular Nelson. Where would you rank this? I would personally put it as a D. It's also one of those things where you have to know Pirates of the Caribbean to kind of understand, but also it's not a benefit, like we said for the earlier ones. It's just a funny meme.
No, it's funny, and you definitely need a bell. I mean, the weight requirements to actually maintain, that amount of air, you literally need a very heavy item. Which in the past, the obvious thing to make is a bell. You could take a bell under the water to hold the bubble. You see. But I mean, this is not something. I mean, it speaks to the ingenuity of marine biologists, perhaps, but the idea behind it. But in reality, I mean, this is marine technicians, marine engineers. I mean, this is more about those guys.
Yeah, for sure. So in terms of like just physics, I think it also gives it a bad rank for me. That's why I put it at D.
I mean, it's funny. It's just hilarious. The situation is hilarious. The idea of it's very cartoon-like.
Yeah, for sure. It is a Disney movie, but I mean, they could have done a thing a bit better than that. A very funny, very nice scene though in the movie. Speaking about other shows, this next one is just a picture of like a few like dolphins, I think, and seals being held up by an anime protagonist who some people might recognize as JoJo. I think Joseph Joestar. maybe Jonathan, something starting with a Joe, from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But what they brush off in the anime is that he is by trade a marine biologist. So even though he's in the show fighting bad guys with this magic stuff that's going on, people like breaking the laws of physics, and this guy can do all types of like fighting anime, like Dragon Ball type shit. But he's like, I'm still gonna be a marine biologist. That's what I like to do.
I think this is hilarious. I did not know that fact about JoJo, and I just think, why? I mean, I don't even know what to say about this. But in this meme, he's looking at what? What is that? Do you know the context of this? I mean, I see him looking at a picture, and in that picture, there's a hell of a lot of angry dolphins.
Dolphins. I don't think that particular picture is in the anime. I think somebody photoshopped that in. I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
But I think in the anime there was someone who could like use old-timey like cameras to take a picture of stuff, and that would tell them something. Like I think like memories. I don't remember. Like I watched this a long time ago, but somebody had some kind of power to do with photographs, or maybe it was some kind of evidence because he was like out on a mission to do something, so he was trying to figure out something. So that's probably what that is.
Okay.
Obviously, there's no real benefit to that. It's just like a funny thing that, oh yeah, like you can be a marine biologist, but you also can be like the protagonist of an anime as well.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, again, it's very specific to that anime. You need to know something about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and then if you do, then it's epic. You know, then you go, oh my gosh, this guy is a marine biologist.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully, it's doing its job at trying to recruit some people. I don't know. For me, it's a C.
Yeah, it's a C. It's a C as well. It's a solid C, hinging on the B. Once you know,
once you understand.
Once you understand, yeah, definitely.
And that's it for part 1, guys. Episode ran a little long, so we're going to cut it a bit short here. And the next half, we're going to talk about some of the more serious memes compared to the ones that are more jokey that we talked about earlier. And if you want to find us on the internet, you can do so at Agulhas Current on Twitter, at Agulhas Current Affairs and other platforms. If you want to find me, I'm at Geekoscopy. And if you want to find Nelson, he's at Argonaut Science. Hope you guys enjoyed, and cheers.